Like a flint to the flame, or an arrow to the vein, things we all do to survive, for good or gain. To slide down a rabbit hole, or to climb a beanstalk, curiosity is what drives us to great things. But it is our need to survive that keeps us afloat in this turbulent sea. Perseverance will lead us ashore, but doubt will give rise to a kraken that will swallow us whole. Hello everyone, this is the Holy Hermit, and I welcome you to a new video of mine. Today I'll be playing a new survival game that came out a few days ago, Tomb Raider, a game that started almost over a decade ago. And I have a dear friend with me today, a friend I know from real life, Nicholas.
Hello, it's great to be here and commenting on the great game Tomb Raider, or great game series.
Nicholas is a friend of mine who I met at university. We both studied together, different courses and all, but we both do enjoy video games. So here he is, he's going to talk a bit about Tomb Raider with me. So Nicholas, tell us about the game. Have you ever played this before? The series, that is.
Yeah, it's definitely one of my favourite series of all time. I think it started off the best, and I think that it's basically been getting worse ever since. But I'm just a traditionalist, I like the old games better.
Yeah, it's interesting you should say that, yeah, because the first game that came out was, of course, back in the days, and it was not very heavily on story. It was not story-based. The game is good, don't get me wrong, but it has certainly deviated from what Tomb Raider we knew back in the days. So there have been a few changes. So, Nicholas, you and I have played this game for, what, about 30 minutes or so?
That is correct.
Yeah, so we'll be talking about the video. I'll show you the first 30 minutes of the gameplay. No cutscenes here, right? So I'll just show you how the game is, how it works and all. It is a survival game, right? So we are not raiding any tombs at the moment. We're just trying to survive. So what do you think of the new Lara then, Nicky? She's
nice, she's cute. I mean, she's the closest to the first game. She's definitely more vulnerable, which I think is quite attractive. And sort of endears the player more to this character, because I think she gets kind of so arrogant in the future games that you kind of lose respect for her. I don't know whether that's just me. I don't know whether you felt that as well.
No, absolutely. You see like a superhero version of Lara Croft in the earlier games, so she can do almost everything, almost got a cocky sense to it. But this game takes you back. It shows you her vulnerable side. She's about a child in this game and who's been chucked on an island. So all she's trying to do is survive at the moment. And that's what you see us doing right now. So yeah, Nicholas, what was your first Tomb Raider game then?
Oh, the first one, Tomb Raider 1.
So you are like a person who started in the beginning. Yeah, that's well and good.
Yeah, I actually haven't played anything past 3 because I lost interest past 3.
Well, I understand that, yes. So the last one I played, Underworld, came before this, and a few another little spin-off, I believe. Not exactly a spin-off, but the last game I played was Anniversary, and it was a good game where they included all the hard puzzles from previous Tomb Raiders. But as you said, most of them were from Tomb Raider 1, 2 and 3. So we do know how the traditional Tomb Raider feels like. So what do you think of the puzzles in this game that we've encountered so far?
Well, this is the first puzzle coming up a little bit further on, isn't it? When she has the typical sort of box and pressing buttons and jumping on weights and things like that. I think it's quite a good puzzle. It's a pity really that there isn't more in the early parts of this game. I mean, we can't comment on the rest of the game, but I think they're the best bits. I genuinely do. You've got a good cutscene. Or yeah, where you've got to kick, you've got to go left, right. Yeah, it's quite entertaining, but personally, I just enjoy the puzzles.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a good step in the direction with these new Crystal Dynamics people jumping into the game. For us hardcore fans who've been playing this game for a long time, we do get a puzzle every now and then, but they've also added a few new things to it, survival that is. So I think that's quite a decent idea, because you want to cater the game to a lot of people. Most people do complain about games being simple, and I do understand that, but I guess from a company's perspective, they want to include everyone in the game. So you played the first 30 minutes, Nicholas. Does it want to make you come back to the game? Are you finding it interesting so far?
I definitely think the story's interesting. Yeah, absolutely. It's a very good story. You know, you've got Lara who is shipwrecked on this desert island. She's got to escape from a very, very strange scenario. You know, we've played it for half an hour. We're not entirely sure what is happening, but yeah, I mean, it's definitely interesting enough compared to other games that I've played for half an hour. It's good. I'm excited about it. I hope there's more tombs. I hope there's sort of artifacts to unlock, and I'm sure there will be, as opposed to the sort of open world aspect. But as you say, that's what some fans go for. That's what the bigger market that they're going for.
Yeah, that's an interesting point again. So they want to cater everything for everyone, yet they still want to, cater to the hardcore fans as well. So there's an interesting mix here. But we have seen a bit of mythology now, haven't we? The second video we're going to post, we're going to show you a few things about it. So there is some dark mythological aspect, but there's also survival here. Now, some Tomb Raider games have Lara, of course, exploring all these crypts and tombs, and the only things that she encounters are those scary mummies and those ghoulish creatures. But in this one, we do see a few mix of people coming in. So we've got human interaction. So what do you think about that? Are they exciting, or are they...
From a personal perspective, I don't think they're the interesting part of the game, but maybe I'm just a traditionalist. I think the story's good. I think the characters are interesting. There's characters that we're going to introduce later that look dodgy, to say the least, and I guess they're going to betray us or stab us in the back at certain times in the game. Yeah, I think this bit that we're seeing at the minute, this is interesting stuff. It's a modern style block puzzle, I would say, and I think it's quite interesting. And more of these puzzles, but maybe I'm just an old fogey traditionalist. Maybe I need to get with the times. I don't know, am I right?
No, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's the Tomb Raider we came to love and respect, really. Why it was so different, of course, you had a girl playing the character, which is all well and good, but it's all about the the mind over matter aspect of the game. That's what we came to know about Tomb Raider. That's how it was different. So people say that this game, the quick time events, that's another thing, by the way, we should talk about before we go further into details. So what do you think about these quick button presses, Nick? Do you think it's a good thing, or...
I think they're a good thing, but I think that you can overuse them, and I think that in the first 30 minutes there was too much of it, or maybe not too much, but it was used a lot. I think they're good. I think they can be exciting. I would like to compare this with The Walking Dead, which I thought was a really good example of these quick time effects. I thought that was the best game that I've played, at least. But again, in The Walking Dead, the best bits of the game weren't those bits. The best bits were all the psychological stuff. And I think the best bits of Tomb Raider, hopefully, will be the puzzles.
Yeah, exactly, you're right. So these are more for the action catered bit of the game. You don't want to be solving tombs all the time. I know traditionalists, of course, we would like to see that, but I can definitely see a bit of balance in the game never hurts. So you've got these fast-paced action moments, and then you've got a bit of tomb raiding, almost tomb exploring, so to speak. As we talked earlier, there's a bit of mythology in the game as well. We are on an island near Japan somewhere. We're trying to discover something new that only Lara thinks is right, and it actually exists. So she's there to hunt for this, and we do see a little bit of Japanese mythology in there, something that you wouldn't see in the mainstream media. So that's another good take on it, right? Because if you remember, Nick, in the past games, we went to Peru, we went to all these great places, Egypt, and all of these stories were again unique, and the same thing goes with this one, I hope. What I've seen so far, something that I've never seen before, and I do like a bit of history on my own, so it's new and unique, and I think you'll agree with me that the mythological aspect is still there, and at the heart it'll still be a tomb raiding game.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Yeah, and I think it is going for something different, while still being loyal to the sort of traditional way that it's always been. I think that it's good though. It is something a bit different, as I say. You see Lara here escaping. She looks very vulnerable. We never saw that in goodness those 10 games that we've seen before. She doesn't even look like her. Everything looks toned down. She looks younger. I'm very endeared by her. I wanted to survive, I have to say.
Exactly, that's the theme of the game. So we all prefer the old game, but the new game, the first message it tries to bring to you is all about survival. It's not Lara we know from the past, as in the old Lara. This is the young Lara who's just trying to survive. She was on her merry way. She's one of those rich kids who wants to go for this little experience every now and then, and that's what she was hoping for, but she gets stranded on the island. So the battle-hardened Lara that you see later on in the games, as in the previous games, is actually the Lara that will become at the end of the game. So as far as story goes, it's progressing okay so far. The pacing is quite alright. There are some bits that are not so much fun. What do you think about the stealth in this game? All the shooting and stuff, arrows. What do you think of that, Nick?
Well, again, I would have thought that it's never been one of Tomb Raider's more interesting concepts, the shooting. So, and I would say that's the same here. I would say that the stealth as well. There are better games for stealth, which I'm sure you know that more about that than me. But it seems quite simplified, and it's a game for everyone. It's a game for people of all ages. It's a game for people who've never played Tomb Raider before, and the fans. As I say, I'd prefer it to be focusing on the puzzles, but the visuals in this game are absolutely amazing, by the way. I don't know whether that shows up on the video that's been uploaded, but on PC this looks stunning.
Oh yeah, so just to let you guys know, we are playing the game on PC and it's on max settings right now. The best one you can go for, that's what we're trying to get here. And you see the lighting effects and everything, so we can talk about, I guess, the way the game looks like and the way the controls feel even. Lara moves fluidly. Now she's not the Lara we're supposed to be seeing in the last game where she can flip over and do all these backflips. She's basically trying to survive. So whereas in the last games you could do cartwheels and other rolls, things like that, here she quite simply just scrambles away and almost tries to gain a balance in the process. So that's how the character plays. The time you press the button to the time which the character does something, it's almost very fluid. A company that's been making the game for all this time, I'm sure they've all got a proper grip on it. So this is working well and good. The graphics are beautiful. Even the sound quality, the sound's pretty nice, isn't it? What do you think about the soundtrack, the music of the game, Nick?
Yeah, I think the sound's good. The only thing would be the lip movements. They're not, but the very few games seem to get that right. So, but apart from that, I think visual sound top drawer.
Yeah, so yeah, absolutely, yeah. It's not LA Noire, of course, so you're not going to see the exact facial animations, but they have done a good job with the character animations. The second part of the video we're going to upload, we're going to show you a bit more of human interaction. But another thing Nick and I were talking about earlier when we were playing the game is about the characters that are introduced in the game. Now, Tomb Raider used to be a game where it was just Lara against the world, this dead world, so to speak. But in this one, we do end up seeing quite a few human players. So what do you think about that, Nick? Normally, the less amount of people you see, the more cherished the moment is when you encounter them. So what do you think about that?
I totally agree with what you just said. I mean, for example, in the first Tomb Raider, you've got, I can't even remember the names, there's one called Pierre, I think, wasn't there?
Yep.
And when you saw him, it was the big thing, it was exciting, you had to think, oh God, what am I going to do to kill him? I mean, in about 10 minutes in this game, you've already, well, maybe not 10 minutes, about 20 minutes, you've already seen off quite a few people, and it does take away from the impact. I definitely think so. So I think that, you know, that being alone was a big factor in Tomb Raider, and also not being given any sort of feedback. The game doesn't tell you what to do. The game doesn't guide you so much in the first, and I think that was one of the best parts of the game. But as I say, that's because I'm a traditionalist. I like the games like Dark Souls, which doesn't just take your hand and, you know, spoon feed you all the answers. But I don't know, maybe that's just me.
No, absolutely, you're right. Yeah, as far as I think that's the state of almost all these games at this time. They're all very good, of course, we love them all, but they teach you everything, you know, one step at a time. And for most people that's a good thing, but some people do like a bit different, like you and me, I guess. So yeah, games like Dark Souls where they don't tell you anything at all, you have to figure it out yourself. So in this game, I guess you get a decent kind of tutorial. It's not actually holding your hand all the time. It does give you a bit of freedom when you want to explore. But all in all, yes, it's quite a simplistic approach in the beginning. But then again, the game does pick up later on, as you'll see. But yeah, we've been playing Tomb Raider, and just to wind up the whole video, we're going to play the first 30 minutes of the game. It's not going to have any cutscenes or anything, but Nick and I just decided we both liked this game and we ordered it, so we thought why not play it together and post up a video. So this is Tomb Raider for you, and this is my friend Nick, so we're all both going to sign out now. Thanks ever so much for listening. This has been the Holy Hermit and my friend Nick.
Hello, goodbye.
Yeah, that's the right way to say it. Hello and goodbye. So yeah, we'll be posting another one of these videos. So if you like the series, let us know. So if you like the video, do let us know. Leave a comment if you will, and we'll get back to the game and we'll post all the good bits of it. We are going to finish the game as well, so we might end up putting a review when we are done with the game. So I hope you all have a nice day ahead. Thanks ever so much for listening. This has been the Holy Hermit and Nicholas. We're signing out. Thanks ever so much for listening. Bye.
Bye.